Like movies about gladiators.
And now, here he is, Tom Leykis.
Thank you for tuning into the Tom Leykis Show. This is where America gets together to talk about the issues you really care about. It's a different kind of a radio talk program. We're the radio talk show that is not hosted by a right-wing wacko or a convicted felon. No. I am your host. Write down our toll-free telephone number. You're going to need it. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. I love this letter. Love it. It's from Charles, and Charles writes in, Tom, I work in an office where there are 10 women and 3 men. And 3 of those women run the office. Recently, one of the 2 women who work for me gave birth. A few weeks before that, someone realized that no one had thrown her a baby shower. So some of those women decided to do so. While planning this shower, one of them decided to send an email invitation to our entire 250-plus employee organization, stating our office would provide all the grub. Then she came around to us asking what food item we would be bringing. Here is where we got into trouble. In an office meeting, this issue was brought up and each person was to write down what they would be bringing. I told them that not only would I not be bringing anything, but I'm not going to go. Why the hell should I attend some coworker's baby shower when I didn't bang her? It's not my damn kid. So what if she works for me? That's the only relationship she and I have together. Tom, the real issue came out after I made this comment. I told them I keep my personal life and my career as separate as possible. I'm not the same person at work as I am at home. Well, all these women want to view us all as some kind of damn family. They want to believe that if one of them gets sick or experiences a family emergency, we'll all come running. I had to explain that once I leave these walls, I don't give a damn about any one of them. In fact, personally, I don't even like any of them, and if my wife was pregnant or I experienced some sort of tragedy, none of them would ever know. Now I've been basically blacklisted through the office. The women won't have anything to do with me because of my feelings on this matter. The guys won't either because they're afraid of the wrath they might incur from our bosses by association. I've been given all the lower-level jobs. I've been placed on call 4 out of the 6 weeks since this event. I haven't been able to take any time off, and a myriad of other minor irritations. In fact, my direct supervisor, who happens to be one of the 3 guys, went so far as to officially counsel me because of my refusal to participate in that stupid-ass baby shower. I need some advice on 2 things, Tom. So far, I've continued to rebel against this idea that a workplace should be some kind of extended family. But I have a feeling this is only going to get worse. Should I fight this fight? Or do I just ride that vagina wave and hope I don't continue to rock the boat? Also, am I the only guy who keeps work and home separate? At the office, I'm an a-hole. At home, I'm a relaxed, easygoing guy. The one personality just doesn't work at the other locale. Can you help me? Signed, Charles. Wow. Let me just say, first of all, Charles did the exact right thing. Whether or not he's getting treated fairly is another question. But you know what? The era of lawsuits over sexual harassment cases has caused me to say, I don't want the people at work knowing anything personal about me at all. Because anything I say can and will be used against me in a lawsuit. I don't want to talk about my love life. I don't want to talk about whether I'm married or divorced. I don't want to talk about illnesses that happen in the family. I might add, if you have an illness, you don't want to talk about that in the office. You know why? Because they write that stuff down, and it goes into a file or a computer somewhere. And at some point, if they want to use your illnesses, frailties, weaknesses as an excuse not to promote you or not to give you a raise or not to give you a tough assignment, they will. My opinion is that your personal life does not belong in the office, and on top of that, you shouldn't be getting involved in baby showers, wedding invitations, bar mitzvahs, buying chocolates or Girl Scout cookies, anything. The office is for work, ladies. Now, ladies, I know that you have no interest in coming to work and that you try to treat work as just another social opportunity. But I believe Charles did the right thing. And frankly, Charles, I think you need to see an attorney because you are being discriminated against. I happen to believe there's the possibility, and I'm not an attorney, that's why you need one, Charles, but I happen to believe that what's going on is sexism, pure and simple. You should be under no obligation to get involved in anybody's personal life at the office, especially the personal lives of women at the office. At all. People should not have hounded you or harassed you for an answer about this. A simple no should suffice. In fact, I go so far as to say people should keep their private lives at home. Stop coming to the office and trying to collect money for charities. Stop coming to the office and trying to have parties for yourself, birthday parties, baby showers, wedding invitations. Stop with that stuff at the office. It doesn't belong at the office. For the most part, the people in the office, sorry, ladies, we're not your friends. We are here with you because we need money. We come to work, to make money. Not to give your baby a gift, not to give you an engagement present or to know where you're registered. We don't care. We don't want to know, and we don't care. And frankly, I think when this comes up in your office, you ought to be marching right down to the Human Resources Department and letting them know that you are at work to work, and you don't want to be dragged into people's personal lives at the office. And let them know that if they try to drag you in, you have an attorney, and you won't be afraid to use him. Because we are in an era where people are suing each other for saying good morning the wrong way, or for looking at each other the wrong way. Sorry, maybe it was better 40 years ago when you could come into the office and say, hey, you look nice today, or, hey, let's have a barbecue this weekend. But you know what? It's all too dangerous now. Charles did the right thing, and I think Charles should hire an attorney and sue the whole damn lot of them. What do you think?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You want to know why women wear makeup and perfume?
Why?
Because they're ugly and they stink.
The Tom Leykis Show. Leykis, the Hot Talk 1080.
The Tom Leykis Show, 1-800-5800-TOM. Looking at the screen, a lot of people agreeing with me, but, you know, there are people out there who put those little notices on your bulletin board at the office that their baby shower is coming up, or that their wedding is coming up, their kid's graduation is coming up, or Girl Scout cookie season is coming again. People trying to start up softball games, company picnics, what have you. I don't want to spend personal time with people in the office. Too easy to get sued. I got my boys here, and that's it. I pretty much keep to myself. I'm no snob. I'll hang out with anybody, but people in the office, too much going on. I don't think any of that personal stuff should be going on in the office. And nobody should be penalized for not participating, and those people should be prosecuted. Or certainly sued and be forced to pay damages. Anthony on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom, I'm good.
Pretty good, Anthony.
Well, I'm a general foreman for a construction company, and we just got a girl at the job site, and we're having problems. Everything was fine until she got there, and one of the parts are telling me that I need to be political about the whole situation.
Uh-huh.
And it's really starting to irritate me, because she's not working what she's getting paid. She's a journeyman carpenter making $33 an hour.
Right. And
she maybe puts out $10 an hour of work.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem that I'm incurring is I can't fire her. I can't let her go because she's the only woman on the job. It's a county job, so they have to have so many women, so many men, and so forth. So I'm stuck in a situation now where I need to let this woman know that, hey, I'm the a-hole out there, which she sees me with all the other guys. You know, I need production. If I don't have no production, I don't have a job.
Of course.
So now go ahead.
Of course, I say.
So I don't know what to tell my bosses, hey, we need to get rid of this girl.
Well, in reality, all of these laws regarding affirmative action are essentially considered by companies as the cost of doing business. In many cases, companies hire any loser who fulfills the quota they are required to maintain.
Right.
And they just assume that they're going to have to spend that money and it increase the cost of doing the job because then you have to hire someone who will actually do the work.
Yeah. Well, I found myself out filling time cards today and actually lying about her production just to make the books look good. Mm-hmm. But basically, I'm just getting tired of the whole mess.
Yeah, well, you know what? I feel your pain. I agree with you. And I just think that people's personal lives should stay out of the office. Out.
Yeah. Well, like today, they were talking about, their baby showers and so forth. Well, I just happened to hear a little lunch conversation going on about, I guess, their daughter's birthday or something coming up. And I go, now stuff's going to start. And I could already feel her hinting for a day off. So when that day comes, what do I do? Tell her, we're laying off today, and I need to do something here. Because,
you know what? If that's the reason she's taking the day off, she shouldn't be paid for that day.
Oh, she's not going to be paid, but I need to figure out a way to bump her out the door and be politically correct.
Well, again, you have to have cause to fire someone.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. You have to consult with...
I just happened to hear a little lunch conversation going on about, I guess, their daughter's birthday or something coming up. And I go, now stuff's going to start. And I could already feel her hinting for a day off. So when that day comes, what do I do? Tell her, we're laying off today, and I need to do something here. Because,
you know what? If that's the reason she's taking the day off, she shouldn't be paid for that day.
Oh, she's not going to be paid, but I need to figure out a way to bump her out the door and be politically correct.
Well, again, you have to have cause to fire someone.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. You have to consult with your legal counsel where you work. That might be reason enough. If someone took a day off from work when you needed them for their daughter's birthday, maybe that's a reason. But I would consult legal counsel on that. Okay.
That's good advice. I'll see what we got there. And I just want to let everybody out there know that Ken is 3 to 12.
All right. You're cutting out there, Anthony, but I thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM. Renee on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good. I am so glad you brought this up because I am in the middle of this at work right now. There are 2 of us girls planning a wedding here, and the guy that works here, poor thing, he's caught in the middle of bridal updates every Thursday at 10 a.m.
What?
Yeah. Honest
bridal
to God,
updates? You mean this is like an official thing?
Honest to God, yeah. Every Thursday, and I feel so guilty for being a part of it.
Who is getting married? Not the name of the person.
I'm one of them.
Oh, so a bunch of people are getting married at the office?
There's 2 of us that are getting married at the same time.
What does that have to do with the office?
You know, it really doesn't have anything to do with the office. And I think that's where women getting together in groups bigger than 2 are really, it's a horrible idea.
That's outrageous. Why do you participate in that?
I try my hardest not to anymore. I don't say the word marriage or wedding in the office anymore. But I used to, and I think it was because as a girl you're caught up in being the center of attention, and I'm guilty of it. And this poor guy, Tom, was just stuck in the center of it. And I think
he shouldn't be. He should not participate.
I agree. I think he first of all, I think he's married to a woman that controls most things, and so I think he felt obligated to be a part of it because he was in the office. But I agree with you. I don't think it's right at all. I think any guy in that situation should stand up and tell the women around him.
Stop being a pussy.
Exactly.
Say no.
Exactly. I can hear the word no. I'm a big girl. If you don't want to hear something I'm talking about, tell me.
Exactly. Renee, thank you. This is Mel on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Mel.
All right. Hey, listen, I got a real bone to pick about this issue. About 3 weeks ago, a woman approached me at work. I mean, this is happening all the time because, where I work at, they got over, 7,000 people working in that building. Anyhow, everybody and their mother's coming in with boxes of this and boxes of that, wrappers and this for sale. This woman approaches me to buy some candy from Sears, whatever, and then I look at this thing. I'm thinking, man, this stuff's expensive. So I find the cheapest thing on there, about $6, and she looks at me like, what, that's all you're going to buy? And I'm thinking, it made me feel a little guilty, so I ended up buying like $26 worth of stuff from her. And it bothers me because, you know what, I'm paying child support and alimony now because the same type of woman screwed me over, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Why would you spend anything?
Well, you know what, from now on it's no.
Say no.
Absolutely not. And check this out, the same woman, just last week I wore a T-shirt that I got from Vegas that says Pink Taco, eating out never tasted so good, and she took me to HR for that.
There you go. So why in the world would you do anything for these bitches?
I will never do that again. And you know what? I keep wearing the T-shirt. They asked me to take it off. I said, no. Walk me out. You'll be talking to my lawyer.
Wow, wow, wow.
What happens is they look at this thing as a sexual innuendo, and reality it is, But you have to have a dirty mind to think that way, I guess. I don't know.
So what if it's a sexual innuendo? You know what? None of their business. But I know that's what the law's on their side and allows them to do this. Why would you do anything nice for the bitches you are forced to work next to?
Yeah.
They will sue you. They will kill you if they can.
The same woman is having an adulterous affair with a married man at work with a manager. On top of that, she tells a lot of sexual innuendo jokes and sexual overtone jokes with other men in the
Wow. Well, maybe you ought to get that guy's home phone number and have somebody call his wife.
I was thinking about doing that.
That'll be fun.
Hey, you know what? I got a suggestion for you. You know how you got Leykis 101 on Thursdays?
Yes.
Yeah, and you gotta throw some pop quizzes in there. You gotta have like a pop quiz type flash Wednesday or Monday or something, just every once in a while, just for fun. It's summer coming up. Women are around in bikinis and tank tops.
Thank you for that. 1-800-5800-TOM. Lisa on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Lisa. Hey, Tom. How you doing?
All right, Lisa.
I want to say I usually don't agree with most things that you talk about, but I've got to say today I'm right on with you here. I think it's pathetic that people have to mix business and pleasure. You want to have a party, do it at home, ask the people who want to join, and do it outside of the office.
That's right. Have your personal life and your personal time, and stop trying to drag the rest of us in.
And then make you feel guilty for not wanting to join, especially let's say you don't like this person very well much, or you're not very close to them, and, they make you feel like you have to join. It's like, no way, thank you. I don't think I need to participate in something that one, I don't know the person very well.
Yeah.
Two, it's business. You come into work. You want to come and play, do it on your own time, not on my time.
And this whole thing about women in the office talking about their weddings. Weddings are nothing more than holidays for the attention whore. And I don't know why any man would want in any way to contribute to that.
Well, I think it should be voluntary.
I think men should say no.
Well, they have a right to say no just as women
They
do.
should say no.
Why?
Because unless I've seen your vagina, I have no interest in contributing to your self-esteem.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, if the man feels close enough to the woman that he wants to join in, it should be participation on their own, not made feel guilty.
And made feel guilty. The guy who wrote in, Charles, he's being punished.
Because I was a supervisor, and I remember all these things going on, and I didn't like some of these people that were throwing parties for, and I still had to join in, and if I didn't, you get the whole office, against you. So
there you go. It's terrible.
It's the Tom Leykis Show. Leykis on Hot Talk 1080 KOTK. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. And we are talking about a listener named Charles who wrote into us. Our email address, by the way, tom@blowmeuptom.com. Wrote into us and told us he's essentially being punished in his office for not participating in a coworker's baby shower. It's outrageous. Derek on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How's it going?
Pretty good.
Okay, here's my story. We had an office Christmas party,
mm-hmm.
And so I come into work one day, and one of the women at the office decides to organize a Secret Santa gift exchange.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk in, and she says, here, pick a name out of the hat. So I just so happen to pick her name, and she's right there, so she knows I have her. She tells me to get her a vibrator. So when I go to the party, actually my wife actually bought the vibrator. My wife is with me. I give her the vibrator, and she opens it and everyone laughs and thinks it's funny, but no one knows who it's from because it's supposed to be secret. A couple weeks later, I get called in to HR, and I've got an anti-harassment case against me.
Huh. But didn't you have proof that she had asked for that vibrator?
Yes.
And what did they say when they saw the proof?
Well, they didn't tell me who complained, but they said there were several complaints, so it might have been some other people.
Oh, isn't that nice? You could have turned the tables. Had you followed my rules, if somebody asked me to give them a vibrator, I would take that request right down to the Human Resources Department, and I'd file a complaint against that person.
Well, that's what I would do now. I learned my lesson the hard way.
I hope the other boys out there who hear this will not get tricked and will not do something like that.
From here on out, the only thing I talk about work is work-related, and I don't do anything outside of work with anybody. You're better off. They'll use anything against you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that, Derek. Very valuable story, I think. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Let's say hello here to Lee on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hello, Tom.
Hello.
And I don't care.
Yes, Lee.
I agree with Charles, absolutely. I was wondering if I could get your take at a different level on this thing. What do you think about corporate retreats?
I'm opposed.
I've a couple of times in the last few years, I've worked for companies where the program is once a year, senior management goes to Palm Springs, to Santa Barbara, or someplace like that, and typically there's a couple-hour meeting, once on corporate strategy or something, and the rest of the time they encourage everybody to get together for some golf or tennis or eat together, and we're going to make you one big happy family.
Yeah, well, obviously you are in a position where you have to participate in a certain amount of this in order to succeed and excel and move ahead in your profession. I am opposed to them, and I think companies that do it are making a big mistake because of all the possibilities for lawsuits. Specifically, many of these events have booze and single women who work in the office and married guys who now have an excuse to go away for the weekend or go away for a few weekdays without the wife. They are really asking for trouble. And if companies were smarter, there'd be no Christmas parties, no holiday parties at all, no baby showers, no weddings, no softball games, and definitely no corporate retreats. It's crazy.
Yep, I agree with you. And, I mean, the booze does flow on those things. You go to dinner, and there's always a couple bottles of wine on the table because the company's taking care of it.
By the way, I am not convinced, and I've been in management. I've programmed 3 radio stations. I am not convinced that this is not a test in some way. They put that booze in front of you, and somebody is taking notes on everything you do. It's like a test to see how you'll react.
Yep.
Companies love to find out what you do when you're not at work.
Well,
it's like the companies who want to fire people who smoke or fire people who overeat or companies love to get into your business. They love to say, hey, here's your health insurance. Then they find out everything that's wrong with you.
Yep.
And they can always use that as an excuse to get rid of you.
And
I don't mean to sound paranoid, but in this era of computers and databases and in this era of lawsuits and what have you, I think that the less your company knows about you personally, the better.
Yep. And, invariably, there's always a good story for the Monday morning you come back. I mean, did you see what Mr. Smith did? Or I couldn't believe Susan Jones?
Or who ended up with who? I mean, that's what people are looking at. Who ended up with who? Who got really bombed? Who said something really stupid? How often have you ever heard somebody say, hey, did you see what Bob did? I think he'll be getting the big promotion. He really impressed everybody with his presentation at the corporate retreat last week. Never.
So how do you deal with that? I mean, it's like a command performance.
In my view, you do the minimum amount required. You try to bring a spouse or a girlfriend or something if you can. Not some booty call, but somebody you have a relationship with. You make the minimum number of required appearances. You drink no alcohol. And you speak as little as possible to anybody except your superiors.
Yep. No, good advice, I think.
I think that's the only way to go nowadays.
Good advice.
Thank you, Lee.
Thanks, Tom.
Appreciate the call.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. The Tom Leykis Show. Tom Leykis. Only a...
The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the program. It's Craig on the Tom Leykis Show.
Yeah, hey, Tom.
Yes, Craig.
Yes, the reason why I'm calling is you're so against, people doing things at work. But,
yes.
On Flash Friday, you always invite people to booze up at your office over there.
Well, it's not the office. Understand that what we have here is kind of like what you would have at a manufacturing plant. You've got the office, and then you've got the factory.
Yeah.
These are two separate places. Okay.
Oh, so you don't consider that the same boozing with the work people there?
No, because the only people I booze with are all the same gender, and there are women who work in this office. They're not in here. In fact, we close the doors, and it's us, it's me and the boys, and the listers that we invite in. It is not the other employees here.
Well, I was just thinking, you're so against that, and then here you sign...
It's not a matter of being against it. I'm recommending that it's not a good idea. Because you can get sued. We're not going to get sued because we close the door and stay amongst ourselves, and everybody else is out doing something else.
Well, okay. Well, I was just...
we do not invite the women in the office to come in here. We do not comment about them in any way. We do not comment about what they look like. We do not drink with women in the office. We do not offer them drinks. Forget it. Not done.
All right, Tom. Well, I was just making sure that you're not being a hypocrite.
Well, I know how much you care about me. I can really tell the care is oozing through the telephone.
Oh, it's oozing. I mean,
I've had enough. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. This is Malcolm on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom. You're the man.
Thank you,
I don't have to ask how you are. I know you're good. I'm calling from Vancouver. I'm glad you came up. I didn't catch you though. I'm just calling to say I was a system support specialist for a large international firm.
Right.
And I was surrounded by women.
Right.
They can dish it out a heck of a lot more than they can take it. That's all I called to say.
Of course they can. They can talk about sex. They can talk about their period.
Exactly.
They can talk about what guy in the office has a nice ass.
Exactly.
Of course they can.
It was blowing me away. I'd sit there and they'd just be talking amongst each other, knowing that I was there, like surrounded by them, and it would be like they'd be giggling themselves to death.
Now, did you ever go to the Human Resources Department or the Personnel Department or whatever they're calling it these days?
Negative. They didn't have one in this place.
Didn't have one? Did you go to the owner of the company or anybody?
Didn't go anywhere. I just swallowed it, man. And that's...
I think guys should start complaining about this stuff.
Oh, I think so, too. But that's the only reason I called. Listen, I think that you're right on. I don't have to ask how you are because I know you're good. And let me tell you, you're right on. Your show is right on.
All right, Malcolm.
From Vancouver, and thanks for coming up.
Hey, I did it as a public service. Michelle on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi.
You are right on the button, boy. This exact situation happened to me. I traveled for my job, and the boss that I was hanging out with is pretty young, and we traveled in the furniture industry, which is a lot of old white men that like to drink a lot of alcohol. So up in San Francisco, and we're all getting snockered at dinner time, and I'm in the bar with a bunch of clients, and I see my boss go by with another customer, and I know he's snockered, and I know the people he's with are snockered, and I walk up to him, and I go, hey, and I just pushed him on the shoulder a little bit like a buddy kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, hey, so he went up to his room, and then the following week when we got back to work, he took me in his room and closed the door and told me he was going to have to report me to personnel and that I might get fired for what I did. And I just thought that was just a bunch of baloney.
But guess what? He did the right thing.
Well, you know what? What I did was certainly not out of line. After that, I learned my lesson. I never drank with anybody again.
You know how many guys at the office do things that's no big deal, and then the women turn them in and they get fired from their jobs? You know how often that happens?
Well,
I hope all the men turn women in who do things like that.
Well,
you know what? It's war. In the office right now, it's war. And I think men should start marching down to the personnel department, the human resources department, and men should start doing the same things women are doing. Make it just as treacherous for a woman to be in the office as a man.
Well, I mean, he never did it and nothing ever happened, but I just think that's ridiculous that he would expect, you know, what happened was no big deal. It was obviously just a test just to see what would happen, and I learned my lesson and I never did it again, so.
Good for you, and I wouldn't if I were you.
No, it sucked.
Thank you, Michelle.
All right, Tom. Bye.
Appreciate the call. By the way, women will not want to come to the office anymore if you start turning them in for every little thing they do, the way they turn us in. It would be a lot easier to discourage women from coming to work than men, and I think this is one way to rid the office of some of the troublemakers. Turn them in any time they make any inappropriate remark, any time they talk about their personal lives in your presence, their sex lives. Turn them in. Turn them in. Eric on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How you doing today?
Pretty damn good, Eric.
That's good. I'm doing great. You know what? Funny thing, I was coming out to the car with my carpool buddies, heard your topic. I just got reprimanded about 20, 30 minutes ago.
What happened?
Yes, I swear to God. Some green woman out of Iowa. I was training her. She comes on. She saw a couple things at my desk. I keep quiet. I work behind the orange curtain in Orange County, if you don't know what that means.
I know exactly what that means.
All right, then. So, you know, it's pretty Opie Cunningham. I keep my opinions to myself, but at the same token, I put things up at my little cubicle because, you know, you can know how I feel. I'll just keep to myself. You can look and see how I feel. She saw a few things at my desk, like a Bush sticker about him being a warmonger and a CD called Christian Death. She wrote a letter in saying she didn't feel safe with me training her, so she quit, and they're reprimanding me now. It's horrible, Tom. You wouldn't even believe it.
And you didn't even make a comment to her or anything.
I mean, no comment to her.
You had a political opinion.
No political opinion. She tried to bring up religion. I just said, so you're Christian, that's good about it. That was it. Dropped it at that. And I'm an excellent trainer. I'm a smart person. And you know what? I think you're right. Women are the perpetrators 90% of the time, but there are men too.
Well, that's why the men have to start fighting back and start turning women in.
Exactly. They need to do something about it. I have this girl that sits next to me. She looks at naked pictures on her computer.
Turn her in.
Okay.
Turn her in. Turn her in for that. It's a hostile work environment. Tell them you feel threatened by the sexually charged environment those photographs are causing.
Tom, you feel pretty threatened yourself, sir.
Go down there. Yeah, go down there and tell them. Tell them.
That's a great idea, Tom. That's a great idea. Yeah, I just have to vent because it's just...
I'll tell you what, you bust on her, and then we'll put you on any time to tell us the result.
All right, Tom, you know what? You got yourself a deal, sir.
Excellent.
Take me out of the bar show with no cough if it's not too much trouble, please.
Never too much trouble for you, Eric.
No cough.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866.
I went and did this Dick Clark TV show, The Other Half, and they showed a video on the show of the